Good evening, guys. Welcome back to another video, another day, another transfer rumour. This was actually broke a few days ago, this transfer rumour, via the French media, but this has been now corroborated by one of the local press pack, Jack Gordon at the Daily Mail, who absolutely knows his stuff, and it's one that we can talk about in a little bit more detail now, because I think there's a lot of truth to this. There is a lot of truth to this. There is. You can take my word on that. This is a real thing. Manchester City are courting bids right now, not courting, well, receiving, if not necessarily courting, bids from Forest for Rico Lewis. Now, your mileage on this may vary. I know Rico Lewis is a very divisive player amongst our fan base. Some think he's the worst player we've ever had. Some people think he's potentially a phenomenal player. I'm more towards the latter. But either way, I understand he's divisive, blah, blah, blah. But what I will say is that this is very interesting news, full stop. Like, regardless of where you stand on it, there are many connotations and many potential outcomes of this. And I don't think necessarily they're things that we should be happy about, you know? It's going to be the most divisive topic, full stop on this. I'll go over to the news. Here's the news. It says, breaking, Nottingham Forest want to sign Rico Lewis, valued by 30 million, City at more than £30 million. Forest exploring a deal for Rico Lewis, it says. Man City, Forest want to complete a double sweep of Man City Academy of Talents by landing James McAtee and Rico Lewis. I guess I'm a Forest fan now, by the way. Switch for McAtee. Oh, God, all these videos, man. This website is terrible. What's going on here? You know what they're doing there? I X'd off a video which automatically clicked through to the article behind it. One click. The potential signing of Lewis would now likely appear to be a separate transfer. The international was thought to be valued at more than £30 million. Lewis made 44 appearances in all competitions with Pep last term, shy of a quarter of a century of games for the club. 6 side of a quarter of a century of a game, 100. Was fall behind Mateus Nunes in the pecking order right back. City have been looking to tie them down to a new deal, which is true for what I know, but they are thought to be open to allowing Lewis to leave the right after came in. So there we go. I think there would be sort of like a sell-on clause and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, there's your news. This is very true. You don't have to be happy about this. You don't have to like it. But what I know, this is true. And it's a very interesting bit of news, isn't it? You know, we've got another academy player looking down potentially an exit in Manchester City, which is interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. I don't know how you feel about it personally, but I know, I'm sure you'll tell me in the chat, but this is it a bit laggy? Sorry, I don't know why it's been so laggy. Why is it being laggy? I'll change the settings so it's a little bit less laggy. Down to 3,000 kilobytes per second. That should be less laggy. But yeah, look. How I feel about this, if you care. If you care how I feel, put your hands up in the chat. If you don't care, you're just here to chat shit. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to tell you how I feel because it is my channel and I can do. Esteemed dictator, someone called me in the chat. Absolutely, it's my channel. I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. It lags when I load web pages. I think the computer's been a bit funny. Doesn't usually, for what it's worth. It's just been a bit funny. It should be better now anyway. I've lowered the kilobytes per second. So I feel that there's many connotations for this. I truly, hand on heart, believe. I'm not just saying this because I'm an academy lover and I just want to see City fans in the team. I'm not saying that at all. I honestly think City at their very best and Rico's a very good player. City at the worst and Rico's a very bad player. I really believe that. I think Rico very much needs the team to be purring and have the physicality around him. I think he's a really, really, really smart, intelligent footballer that has some very obvious deficiencies to his game, which sounds really harsh, but it's true. I mean, like last City they were getting run to pieces, run ragged. The physicality of the Premier League has exploded. The hardest running league in the world, bar none. No one comes close. No one comes close to this. Let me just find it, actually, by the way. I saw a graphic with the stat of it. But no one comes close to the running that goes in the Premier League. So it is one of those things where we have to be realistic about the expectations of what he can achieve at Manchester City. I think he's great. I think he could do really well. But Rico Lewis right now, he's got an awful lot to develop. And I think there are sort of question marks about his potential involvement this season and if he can last in the physical era of the Premier League. So here we go. This is, by the way, this is a graphic here I saw earlier about, thanks to Bailey from Sky Times, that shows the sprinting distance per 60. I don't know what that means, but look at either way, the Premier League is at the very top in terms of sprinting distance. And then you look at how I don't know what it means, but they're miles ahead at the top in terms of sprinting distance, and then the high-speed running distance, I mean, it's up there in the top for you as well. That's why it's just really impressive. The Premier League's a physical behemoth if you didn't need to prove it. So Rico doesn't really have that running speed and that power, and it's the game's changed an awful lot. When you got a City side that dominating the ball, Rico's great. His movement is fantastic. He's really smart. He's a technically incredibly intuitive player. He knows how to find space. Maybe not a genius passer or a genius dribbler or a genius goal scorer, but he got genius level movement. I'm not just saying that to big him up. I think he's got incredible in movement, like really good. But I don't know, if City are going to hang on to him definitely, because I don't know where he's going to play much. I think Nunez, is ahead of him right now. I think he'd maybe get minutes in midfield, minutes as a backup right back. But I still think though, we're going to need a backup right back. We cannot let Rico Lewis go. Also, he's a homegrown, player. I don't know if he counts necessarily towards our quota this year. I think I don't think he does. He doesn't count towards the quota, but he will as of next season. So we're losing another homegrown player there. We are sort of fine without him, I think, in terms of that way. But we can't get rid of a right back with that versatility. A guy who can play right back and play in midfield and support the system. Like, you think if we're going to get money in, we have to sign a right back. If our options are Nunez, Akanji, and Stones at right back, we are fucked, man. Because two of them are going to get injured, and one of them is not necessarily a natural right back. It just feels to me that at that point, you have to go in. You have to go in and bid on a new right back. Surely, like, I just don't see how we can go into the season without one. It seems to me silly to not have a backup. And I think I do rate Rico Lewis. If he was 3 inches taller, it makes such a difference. Now, people go, but there's loads of small players. He's smaller than the small players. He is, unfortunately. I've stood next to Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, Aguero, people like that. And they're 5'7". There's something about the 5'7" height. That's like the cut-off point for height for whatever reason. It just is. Like, it seems to work, but Rico's like 5'5". He's definitely a couple of inches shorter. So he's small even by the small guy standards. And there's ways around it. The greatest ever to do it, in many people's eyes, Maradona was 5'5". But he was, the reason he got away with it, because he was a genius dribbler and as strong as an ox. So he was a genius level dribbler, and you couldn't catch up to him, and he was really strong. So lightning quick, strong, and a genius. So, you look at other players that have been really small. I don't know, I think Roberto Carlos was like 5'5", but stupidly fast. Physically ridiculous. You look at... Frimpong's about 5'7", he's not 5'5". You look at... Xherdan Shaqiri, just strong as an ox, tiny, but he's not 5'7". He's just not. He's like definitely smaller than that. The internet might tell you he's 5'7", but he's not. Trust me. I've stood next to him. Philip Lahm was more about 5'6", I reckon. I've seen pictures of Philip Lahm next to David Silva. I know it's only an inch, not much in it, but Philip Lahm was also just a little bit more mature, a little bit stronger. I don't know, but either way, he just seemed to. Yeah, just a genius. And it's one of those things where maybe, he could get to that level, but I don't think Guardiola's just willing to wait around that long. I don't think City are going to stand in his way, because I feel like they feel that there's something left to, there's something left for him to grow, and I'm not sure that necessarily be Manchester City. But we have to replace him. We have to replace him if we're going to, go into this season. I don't see how City can lose a right back, and we've only got Mateus Nunes, who's not a right back, and crack on as if nothing's happening. Akanji could be the backup right back, but that doesn't seem like a good idea. His fitness is terrible. I think they're probably going to accept this. I think there's something in this. I think Rico probably has agreed terms with Nottingham Forest, and I suspect that we're going to see rumours of a right back potentially coming in. But the only thing is, we haven't got the homegrown, so the non-homegrown spots. We're already won over the allocation. We've got to sell someone, and the most obvious ones are Kovacic, Akanji, Gundogan, someone like that. So at that point, if we're going to sign a right back, we're going to have to sell two homegrown players, unless we sign a homegrown player. And at that point, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to imagine. My guess would be that they just crack on as it is. Have I seen the Echeverri news from Fabrizio? No. Is it right now? What's the Echeverri news? What's going on here? Is it as in like right now? Fabrizio Romano. What's he done right this second? Oh, where's the Echeverri news, lads? Have you made that up, mate? But either way, I mean, I would love it if City just went out big, aggressive, and big for Tino Livramento. That would be fantastic. I just don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think it is. I mean, if you went for 80 million, I think they'd go for it. But I don't see why you'd sell him either, you know, without a replacement. Maybe there's someone... I can't even think. Is there anyone homegrown else you could sign that could play it right back? Echeverri to Dortmund is Plettigol, actually. It's the rumour. Dortmund would be interesting. Would Dortmund play him? Someone else would be able to answer that better than I could. They got Joe, haven't they? Joe Bellingham there. He's injured again, apparently. Okay. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? We're going about a big rebuild and all that kind of stuff. And it might be that the ones that go are Savinho, Rico Lewis, James McAtee, Kevin De Bruyne. And it's one of those things where I'm thinking, what's going on here, man? Like, it's lots of random things happening where I thought it'd be Kovacic, Bernardo, and Kanji, Kyle Walker, a lot of them, but Gundogan, it's not. It's some of the young lads. I think it's a shame for what it's worth. I think it's a massive shame if you're selling on your academy players. I feel like it's incredibly detrimental to the fabric of the club, and you might laugh at that, but I really do believe it's a big blow to the academy, what it means to be a Manchester City youth player. Look, don't get me wrong, it's a cracking move for Rico Lewis to get to a big Premier League side like that and play regularly and be a 30-40 million. By the way, 30 million is too cheap. We should be asking for 40 million minimum. 40 million genuinely. But either way, it's a big loss of a player of that stature. Because he's an example for the academy lads how to make it, and if he goes as well, that's unfortunately a big blow. Guys, it's just a short video. My thoughts on this. Please subscribe if you are new. I'll be doing my match preview of tomorrow, the tomorrow's game later on. If you haven't already, please consider checking out my big season preview. I think it's a really good watch. I thought I was on it for that one. Yeah, season preview. Oops, what's going on here? Yesterday was an awful lot of fun. There it is there. Put it live 19 hours ago. Go and give it a watch. It's good fun, I promise you. For now, though, I'll be live. Anything else happens later. For now, in a bit, up the Blues. Bye-bye. Rico, I don't want you to go, man. Stay. Unless we do something. Who knows?